Okay, so welcome back to Goomadies Coins and Banknotes. Basically, we're talking about Danish coins of the Second World War. But first, if you're sick of getting silver because the price is up and down, up and down, up and down, and you're not too sure what to get, maybe you can get something like this. So this has a value more than the silver value. So the silver value would only affect it when it gets a bit closer to the actual price. Even then, it'll probably still go up before that. So just say that this is $50 and the silver price in it is 30 and it goes up to 40, then maybe this will probably go up about $5 or $10. So the silver price does affect these, but it's over a longer period of the price. Anyway, so if you're not into silver but you want history, maybe you can get some of these coins. So these are Danish coins that were issued between 1924 and 1940-41. Although some coins actually had a mintage after the Second World War, like the 10 and the 20 øre were also minted in 1946 and 47. So they never were, as far as I know, none of these were actually demonetized because of the Second World War, during the Second World War. So we've got the 3 bronze coins, the 1, 2 and the 5 øre. We have the copper nickel 10 and 25 øre, and you have aluminium bronze half 1 and 2 krona coins. So what happened during the Second World War? Well, if you know anything about the German occupied territories, most of the countries went on to issue iron, zinc and aluminium coins, or some combination like a zinc coated zinc coated iron or something like that. Some countries still use silver. Slovakia issued some silver coins. Some, like Croatia and Ukraine, didn't issue any coins at all. So they just used banknotes. And some of the allies used steel. So Italy went on just to change over all their nickel and copper nickel coins to steel. But in Denmark, what they done is, first they issued aluminium coins for the 2 and the 5 øre, and they issued a zinc 1 øre coin in 1941. So those were different designs. They removed the hole and obviously they changed the coinage. Also at the time they issued zinc 10 and 25 øre. So these had the same design because the monarch stayed in the country and he was pretty popular. So his name was Christian X, and unlike the Belgian monarch, who was named Leopold III, he was viewed as a collaborator. But this guy here was viewed as a martyr because he was viewed, he'd done something like a passive resistance against the Germans. Doing hard resisting. Denmark's pretty flat, so it's not like Norway. You can't really resist, and also Belgium was actually quite small as well. Okay. Also, the half krona was last minted in 1940, and that's the last time they issued a denomination like this until 1989, when they issued the current coin that's in circulation. Okay, so that one, well, probably wasn't that popular, but it was removed. And in 1941, this coin was last minted, although the mintage of this coin is actually not very high, so the 2 krona. So that was allowed to die out for the time period. Now, did they replace this with a banknote? No, they just had a 1 krona coin. The aluminium 1 krona they kept, and they kept issuing it in aluminium. until but this coin was then reissued as a different design in 1947. Okay, the 1 krona, as we'll talk about just before, had a change of design. Now still 6.5 grams and 25 millimeters, but in 1942 they issued a new design. This one has wheat and rye on one side. Instead of the crown, has the denomination, and they removed the date onto the back of the coin, and the name of the country they moved onto the front. So if we look at the other side, they just had the monogram of Christian X. And here we have, oh wow, his first portrait, because they didn't issue a portrait on any of the coins. And also, there was no silver. Denmark hasn't issued any silver coins since 1920. Okay, the zinc 1 øre was also minted in 1946, after the Second World War, and it just has a plant on the front and denomination. On the other side we have the monogram of the monarch. This one's 1945, has a mintage of 916,000. So that's a key date, but 1946 has 712,000. So in this condition, probably about $5. It will be a harder date to actually get. And the highest mintage we have is 1941 with 21.5 million. Okay, the 2 øre, so they changed from a whole coin, so you can see the differences in design. There's no milling, and on this side they kept the monogram, although they changed it. And also, this coin was issued in zinc, so that started in 1942, and they'd done the same with the 5 øre. They issued it in aluminium in 1941, and then in 1942 they issued as a zinc coin, most likely because they probably had a scarcity of aluminium. They issued aluminium probably to differentiate it from the 10 and 20 øre. Okay, the aluminium one is 26.2 million, so pretty easy to get. I haven't seen too many in high grade, so probably most of them are in low grade. The zinc coin, minted 1942 to 1947. Yeah, they minted it after the Second World War. This 1942 has 12.9 million. That's the highest mintage. The key date's 1945 with 329,000. And you'll be paying about 5 to 10 times the 1942 value for that coin. So that's the 2 øre. The 5 øre, you can see they changed the design again. And these ones were only demonetized when they removed the denomination. And in this case, I think it was 1988. That's just I need to look that up. But anyway, this coin they also issued the aluminium one, 1941, and then 1942 they issued the zinc coin. And it seems like the zinc coins last a lot better than the aluminium. Now the aluminium is 16.9 million, yeah, so pretty easy to get. In this condition you're probably paying just a few dollars. This one's pretty toned, so that's just scrap value. And then we have the zinc coin. So it does, because zinc is a denser metal, it does weigh a lot more. Design's pretty much the same. And also the mintages are a lot smaller than the 1 and 2 øre. So this 1943 is a mintage 4.5 million. That's the highest mintage for this coin. The lowest is 1945 with 864,000. So really in this condition you'd be paying about $5. In 1945, yeah, probably at least 10, 20 bucks. Okay, so that's the 1, 2, and 5 øre. Then we have the 10 øre. So these copper nickel coins were also minted in 1940 because I think it was 6th of April 1940 that the 9th of April, and they resisted for 6 hours. So Germany had pretty much was just too powerful for Denmark. Okay, so for the zinc coins, they're pretty much the same, but the weight was reduced from 3 grams to 2.4, and they're both 18 millimeters. Now, as for the mintages, these coins were minted from 1941 to 45. So 1942 is the highest mintage of 8,676,000. Lowest is 1945, 1.28 million. So really, there's not enough coins minted to supplant these ones. So I surmise that these circulated alongside the actual zinc coins, and the reading on it looks the same. And also in 1946-47 they did mint these coins again. So, and these zinc coins are never withdrawn from circulation like the 1 and 2 and 5 Erde coins. Okay, then we have the 25 Erde. So this also was the same design, and it has a weight initially of 4.5 grams for the copper nickel, and then it's 3.6 for the zinc. And we have some Viking patterns on the actual coin. So they are spirals. Now the initial mintage of 1941 is 15.3 million. That's quite high. It's probably just to supplant some of the copper nickel coins. But probably not enough to actually replace them all. So these circulated alongside as far as I know. So this one's 1944, is a mintage of 10.6 million. And this one's in pretty good condition, which I don't see many of them like that. And the key date you want is 1942 for 997,000, probably because 1941 was so large. And these sell for about $5 in pretty reasonable condition, and also reeded. Okay, so that's the actual zinc coins. Now, as for the new 1 krona coin, so this is one of the few Axis coins that was issued in high quality metal, so they didn't change it. So this was first minted in 1942. This is a mintage of 3.92 million. And these struggle to sell for $5, doesn't matter what the mintage is. And then we have 1946. This has 4.3 million. And 1947 with 5 million. So these are probably about $5 each. And the key date one is 1943 with 798,000. So you can find all this information on Numistar. But with these, what you're looking for is errors. So this one has a lamination problem near the X. So you look for, probably doesn't add that much value, but it's just more interesting that way. Look for error coins like that. So during the Second World War, this is the whole range of coins you probably would have been circulating, because the withdrawal of these bronze coins was probably not imminent. It was probably done over a time period, and these aluminium and zinc coins were actually probably left in circulation, as well as these copper, nickel and zinc coins. Now the half and the 2 krona will probably just allow to circulate and fall out, and the 1 krona was changed design, although these ones continue to be circulated. Now in 1948 they changed the design because Christian X passed away in 1947, and Frederick the IX took over, so his coinage is actually radically different than these coins here. Anyway, but the size is the same. Hope this helps you with your Danish coins. So the most expensive coins you're going to get out of this lot is the 2 krona, because it's just big. The mintage is actually quite low. Out of the World War II coins, you're probably just looking at the low mintage for some of these denominations, so the 5, 10, 25 and the 1 krona coin. Let me know what you think. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time, and take care.